All right, so this is a really great book. I got this from the library. As you can see, there's a history on money. And what I really like about this book is the way that it talks about the history of how we kind of got to the accounting that we do today. So I just want to show you some of the things that I thought were really cool about it. And that is, these are silver pieces, and essentially you can see they're in all different sizes. And this is like what currency used to be. Whatever the value of these little silver pieces were, this is how you would know how much money somebody was giving you. And so clearly the value of a particular piece of silver was, relatively fixed, and also could be tied back to the actual item. When we moved to, a currency-based system where you're using dollars and things that don't really have any value, they're just a piece of paper, we would think that maybe it ties back to some kind of value like silver used to do, but it really doesn't anymore. And so that's one of the things that people are concerned about with our economy, and also just one of the things that makes people believe that maybe money is on its way out and some kind of new currency is going to replace it, because it's really difficult to tell what a dollar is worth unless you look at the global market and the yen and all these other things. So most people don't really want to take their time to do that. So now the next book that I mention here, this is The Reckoning. You can see what it says, Financial Accountability. And what was really interesting to me about this book was the discussion on how, dating back thousands of years, even the kings back in England didn't want to know how much money the kingdom had. There's a lot of reasons for this, but I say this because I don't want you to feel like somehow you are burying your head in the sand, and that's not okay, because people have been doing that forever. In fact, back during King Henry's rule, he had sent his kind of head person to go find out whether people were telling the truth when it came to taxes. And what was reported back is actually, no, people don't tell the truth about how much money they make. And it was basically just said, don't look too closely because we don't have enough room in the jails to put all these people in jail. And the king himself was really fond of saying, I'm not accountable to any kind of book filled with numbers. I'm accountable to God and country, and that's it. But the reality is, if the kingdom knew how little money it had, it wouldn't be able to spend frivolously, which is really how the king wanted to live. And is that any different really than how we are today? Most people are lying to themselves about how much money they make. Where things really started to shift was around the 1400s in Italy, when carpet merchants were shipping carpets overseas, and they had to come up with new accounting methods to track all of this stuff that they had shipped away. What was the value? What were they expecting to get back? And the person who pioneered the kind of accounting that we use today was alive during the 1400s. His name was Francesco de Tini, and what he did was he came up with this system called double entry bookkeeping. Now, you may be familiar with single entry, where you take a checkbook and you just write, deposit, withdrawal, and that's one way of doing it. But what that doesn't capture is the category of the expense. So you deposited money into the bank. Was it income? Was it a loan? Did you sell something that you already owned? You spent money. Was it for food? Was it something personal? Was it, giving money for payroll? So the second category nature of accounting was the thing that became commonplace in the 1400s, and that's what we're still using today.